Denobulan Ambassador Galen's hands trembled violently as he read the words Earth Assignment on his brief. His heart pounded in his narrow chest, threatening to burst out of his ribcage. Renowned across the galaxy as an overcautious, anxious diplomat, Galen felt completely unprepared to deal with the humans, the most powerful and unpredictable species in the universe. As Galen boarded the starship Excelsior to begin his journey to humanity's homeworld, his fears intensified with each step. The Excelsior's crew regaled Galen with tales of human exploits, shaking the Denobulan to his core. "I've heard humans can decimate entire fleets with a single warship," Navigator Zorax remarked casually as he plotted their course through hyperspace. In the mess hall, a group of engineers swapped stories about humanity's legendary tenacity in battle, recounting how they've overcome impossible odds time and again through raw determination and ingenuity. Even the mild-mannered ship's doctor chimed in about how humans terraformed a toxic hellscape into a thriving colony within a single generation. Galen sequestered himself in his quarters and neurotically paced the room. He pored over the file of Terran Ambassador Philip Wells, a former Spec Ops commander and genius-level polymath. Galen's heart sank. He was hopelessly outmatched. As Earth's cerulean form swelled in the viewport, Galen knew in his guts this assignment would make or break his career, and possibly determine the fate of future Denobulan human relations. The weight of an entire species now rested on his quivering shoulders. He prayed to the gods that he wouldn't screw this up. As the Excelsior slid into Earth orbit, Galen peered through the viewport at the planet below. Cerulean oceans and emerald continents gleamed under swirling white clouds. Despite the serene beauty, Galen's hands shook as he straightened his orange and purple ambassador's robes. A shuttle ferried Galen down to the surface. He expected to find a warlike society jam-packed with weapons and aggression. But as the shuttle doors opened, Galen blinked in shock. Towering, eco-friendly skyscrapers rose like silver spears amid verdant parks and gardens. Pedestrians strolled along clean, orderly streets, smiling and chatting. Sleek electric vehicles glided past, ferrying humans to unknown destinations. "Ambassador Galen, welcome to Earth," a deep voice boomed. A tall, muscular human with salt and pepper hair strode forward, his hand outstretched. "I'm Ambassador Philip Wells. It's an honor to have you here." Galen tentatively shook Philip's hand, surprised by his firm yet friendly grip. A young man with dark skin and a brilliant smile stepped up beside Philip. "And I'm Marcus Okafor, Ambassador Wells's aide," he said warmly. "We're so excited to show you our world." As Philip and Marcus led Galen through the city, the Denobulan's preconceptions began to crumble. They toured cutting-edge research labs where scientists toiled to cure diseases and invent clean energy solutions. They visited community centers where humans of all ages and backgrounds gathered to practice diplomacy and conflict resolution. Everywhere Galen looked, he saw humans engaged in peaceful, productive activities. He met Lucia Morales, a renowned artist whose vibrant murals celebrated diversity and unity. Dr. Vikram Patel, a genius inventor, showed off his latest creation, a device that could pull moisture from the air to provide clean drinking water in arid regions. Philanthropist Mei Ling Chen described her foundation's work to eradicate poverty and hunger worldwide. With each encounter, Galen found himself more and more impressed by human ingenuity, compassion, and dedication to improving life for all. He marveled at their advanced technology, harnessed not for conquest, but for betterment. Yet as they walked, Galen noticed a crowd of angry protesters gathering outside the embassy. They waved signs with slogans like "Earth for Humans" and "No Alien Influence." At their head stood a man with fiery red hair and piercing blue eyes. "That's Elias Novak," Marcus said in a low voice. "He's been stirring up anti-alien sentiment, wants Earth to cut ties with the galactic community." Galen frowned as Novak spewed hateful rhetoric to the cheering crowd. It seemed not all humans were thrilled by his presence. Over the following days, Galen continued to tour Earth's wonders and engage in deep conversations with Philip. They discussed the challenges of interstellar diplomacy and the importance of building bridges between their worlds. "Our people have so much to learn from each other," Philip said as they shared a meal of fragrant Punjabi curry. Imagine what we could accomplish together, scientifically, culturally, diplomatically. Galen found himself nodding. His initial trepidation had transformed into a profound appreciation for humanity's strengths: innovation, empathy, cooperation. He knew fostering closer ties between Earth and Denobula was crucial, Novak's fear-mongering notwithstanding. As Galen boarded the Excelsior to return home, he shook Philip's hand warmly. "This is only the beginning of a beautiful friendship between our worlds," the human ambassador declared. Galen's heart swelled. He had arrived on Earth gripped by fear and anxiety. Now he departed with hope and commitment, steadfast in his mission to build a strong Earth-Denobulan alliance. Yet as the blue planet receded behind him, Galen couldn't shake the image of Novak's piercing eyes and hateful words. The specter of xenophobia still loomed, threatening to unravel the fragile threads of connection he had woven. Galen knew his real work was only beginning. Months passed as Galen settled into his role on Earth. He had just finished a productive meeting with Ambassador Wells when an urgent communication from Denobula lit up his personal device. Galen's ridged brow furrowed as he absorbed the dire news. "Philip, we have a grave situation," Galen said, his voice tight. "The Arcturian Empire has invaded the Andorian system. They've conquered the capital and enslaved the population." Wells's face darkened. "That's troubling news indeed. How can Earth help?" Before Galen could respond, alarms blared throughout the embassy. General Marcus Graves burst into the room, his uniform crisp despite his harried expression. "Ambassadors, we've detected multiple Arcturian fleets advancing through neighboring systems. Intelligence suggests Earth may be their next target." Galen's hearts raced. This was precisely the scenario he'd feared when first assigned to Earth. Except now, the humans weren't the threat. They were potential saviors. "We need to act fast," Wells declared. He turned to Galen. "Ambassador, can you contact your superiors? We'll need a coalition to stand against this invasion." Galen nodded, already tapping out messages on his device. As he worked, Dr. Elia Sorensen entered, her dark hair tied back in a neat bun. "I've analyzed the data on Arcturian society," she reported. "There are weaknesses we can exploit: their rigid hierarchy, their reliance on slave labor. If we can disrupt their command structure, their entire war machine could crumble." Over the next few days, Galen witnessed humanity's incredible mobilization. Factories retooled to produce advanced weaponry. Shipyards buzzed with activity as Earth's fleet prepared for battle. In countless strategy sessions, Galen marveled at the humans' innovative tactics and unwavering drive. As Earth's defenses took shape, Galen worked tirelessly to rally support from other alien nations. He spoke passionately before the Galactic Council, his former anxiety replaced by steadfast purpose. "The Arcturians threaten not just Earth or Denobula, but the freedom of all sentient beings," Galen declared. "We must stand united against this tyranny." One by one, hesitant alien governments pledged their support. A vast armada of diverse ships assembled in Earth's orbit, a testament to the coalition Galen had helped forge. Tension mounted as long-range sensors detected the approaching Arcturian fleet. Galen stood on the bridge of Earth's flagship alongside Wells, Graves, and Sorensen. The vast expanse of space before them seemed to crackle with anticipation. "They're entering the Oort cloud," a sensor officer reported. Galen's gaze met Wells. In that moment, a wordless understanding passed between them. Whatever the outcome, they faced this threat together, not as alien and human, but as allies united against a common foe. "All ships, battle stations," Graves ordered, his voice steady. "Prepare to engage." As the first Arcturian warships flickered into view, Galen steeled himself for the conflict ahead. The timid diplomat who had arrived on Earth was gone. In his place stood a being forged by crisis, ready to fight for the future of the galaxy. The Arcturian invasion fleet materialized at the edge of the solar system, a swarm of menacing warships that blotted out the stars. On the bridge of Earth's flagship, the Intrepid, Galen stood shoulder to shoulder with Ambassador Wells, General Graves, and Dr. Sorensen. The view screen flickered with real-time tactical data as Allied ships moved into formation. "All units, prepare to engage," Graves ordered, his voice steady despite the weight of the moment. "Execute Operation Shadow Strike." Wells nodded to Galen. "Your people's stealth tech combined with our pilot's skill, it's a formidable combination." Galen watched as squadrons of Earth fighters, cloaked in Denobulan stealth fields, streaked towards the Arcturian fleet. The enemy carriers loomed large on the tactical display, unaware of the approaching threat. Suddenly, explosions blossomed across the Arcturian line. Fighters and bombers erupted from their hangars, only to be cut down by the invisible attackers. Galen allowed himself a moment of pride. The coalition's first blow had struck true. But the victory was short-lived. Arcturian battlecruisers surged forward, their weapons blazing. Earth's planetary defense grid lit up as it intercepted incoming fire. But some got through. Cities burned. Millions screamed. Galen's heart ached as he watched the devastation unfold. He turned to Wells, seeing his own pain mirrored in the human's eyes. "We need to end this quickly," Galen said. Days blurred together as the battle raged across the solar system. Galen found himself thrust into the heart of the action, coordinating with alien allies and Earth forces alike. He marveled at the seamless integration of technologies and tactics. Vulcan logic engines optimizing battle plans, Andorian ice cutters slicing through Arcturian armor. The pivotal moment came in Mars orbit. The Coalition fleet faced off against the bulk of the Arcturian armada. Graves' voice crackled over the comms. "All ships, this is it. Give 'em hell." As the fleets clashed, Dr. Sorensen's psychological tactics sowed chaos in the Arcturian ranks. Galen watched in awe as human engineers, working alongside alien technicians, deployed their secret weapon, a modified version of Denobulan phase technology that bypassed Arcturian shields entirely. The tide turned. One by one, Arcturian ships fell silent, their crews helpless against boarding parties. Galen found himself leading one such assault, his diplomatic skills put to a use he never imagined. As he negotiated the surrender of an Arcturian cruiser, he caught sight of Wells on a nearby view screen. The human ambassador's face was grim but determined. "I'm headed for the neutral systems," Wells explained. "If we can cut off the Arcturian support—" Galen nodded. "Go, I'll handle things here." As Wells departed on his diplomatic mission, Galen received new orders. He was to join the final push against the Arcturian flagship, the dreaded scourge of Krios. The assault would decide the fate of the war. Aboard a sleek Earth assault shuttle, Galen briefed a mixed team of human Marines and Denobulan commandos. "Remember," he said, "we're not just fighting for our own worlds. We're fighting for the freedom of every sentient being in the galaxy." The shuttle rocked as it penetrated the scourge's weakened defenses. Galen steadied himself, then nodded to the squad leader. "Let's finish this." As the airlock hissed open, Galen charged forward with his alien and human comrades, ready to confront Emperor Kravox and end the Arcturian threat once and for all. Plasma bolts sizzled past Galen's head as he led the charge onto the bridge of the Scourge of Krios. The acrid smell of ozone filled his nostrils as he dove behind a control panel, narrowly avoiding a burst of enemy fire. "Cover me!" he shouted to the human Marine beside him. The soldier nodded, unleashing a barrage from his pulse rifle as Galen sprinted towards the command dais. Emperor Kravox loomed before him, tentacles writhing in fury. "You dare challenge the might of the Arcturian Empire?" the alien monarch roared. Galen stood tall, his voice steady. "Your reign of terror ends now, Kravox. Surrender and spare your people further bloodshed." For a moment, the cacophony of battle faded. Then Kravox lunged, a crackling energy blade materializing in his grasp. Galen barely managed to dodge the first strike, feeling the heat of the weapon as it passed inches from his face. The two aliens circled each other, a deadly dance amidst the chaos of the bridge assault. Galen's heart pounded as he parried blow after blow, searching for an opening. He caught glimpses of the battle raging outside, Earth fighters weaving between capital ships, Denobulan phase cannons tearing through Arcturian shields. With a sudden burst of speed, Galen feinted left, then ducked under Kravox's guard. His own energy blade, humming with denobulan technology, found its mark. The Emperor's eyes widened in shock as he crumpled to the deck. "It's over," Galen said, his voice hoarse. "Stand down your forces." Stunned silence fell across the bridge. Then, one by one, the Arcturian crew dropped their weapons. Victory, hard-fought and dearly bought, was theirs. In the days that followed, a wave of jubilation swept across Earth and its allies. Galen found himself hailed as a hero, his image broadcast on view screens from Luna to the farthest reaches of the Coalition. He stood beside Ambassador Wells and General Graves as they addressed cheering crowds, marveling at how far he'd come from that first nervous encounter on Earth. But amidst the celebrations, Galen sensed a shift in the political winds. His communiques with Denobula took on a different tone, less collaborative, more demanding. His superiors spoke of seizing the moment and capitalizing on our pivotal role in ways that made him uneasy. At a victory gala in Geneva, Galen pulled Ambassador Wells aside. "I fear my government may be overreaching," he confided. "There's talk of preferential trade agreements, expanded influence in coalition affairs." Wells frowned. "I've heard similar rumblings from some of our other allies. We'll need to tread carefully in the coming weeks." Before Galen could respond, a commotion erupted near the entrance. He turned to see a familiar shock of red hair. Elias Novak, the anti-alien demagogue, had somehow gained entry to the event. "How many human lives were sacrificed to save alien worlds?" Novak shouted, his face contorted with rage. "How much Earth blood was spilled while these allies reaped the benefits?" Security officers moved to escort Novak out, but not before his words sent a ripple of unease through the assembled dignitaries. Galen caught concerned glances from several human officials, and his heart sank. The fragile unity forged in war was already beginning to fray. As the gala resumed, Galen found himself gazing out at the glittering lights of Geneva. The city had been spared the worst of the Arcturian assault, but he knew other parts of Earth still lay in ruins. Rebuilding would take time that could be squandered if mistrust and opportunism took root. A hand on his shoulder startled him from his reverie. He turned to find Dr. Alia Sorensen, her dark eyes filled with commitment. "We need to talk," she said quietly. "There are forces at work that threaten everything we've accomplished. Meet me in my office tomorrow morning, and don't tell anyone you're coming." Galen nodded, a knot of apprehension forming in his stomach. As Sorensen melted back into the crowd, he couldn't shake the feeling that the true test of their alliance was only just beginning.
You have reached the end of the story. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel, and for every comment that says 88, I will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.